Hello, hello. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Wine Wednesday, Yama's Day, from myself and Dominic. Huddie, you're in
Huddie,
Bamboo Forest? No?
Yep.
All right.
He's gone.
Maybe next time. What is going on, chat? Welcome in. 41 of you guys already, 15 likes, and I am not even one of them. Shame on me. As always, send it to your grandma, your cousin, your stepbrother, sister, uncle, whoever.
Just make sure you're subscribed as well.
Where are we at, Dom? How many subscribers do we have?
4.96.
Wow, we're close on that 5K mark.
We'd like
Again,
to
like
get there.
we
So
talked
if you're
about,
watching every week, you might as well just subscribe.
like we talked about in Going Where Nasdaq, we don't really care for milestones or to grow the channel. We just want dopamine.
No. I'm literally here to see how many likes we get and then go to sleep on that high.
Oh. Anyways, what's up, everybody? Let's get right to it because I think this is going to be a little busy one.
Let's get to it. How on DOS do you change the background to dark mode versus light mode? I know someone out there knows because I know that someone out there is like master DOS.
That's our first question to help Dom out. So you're Dom. Look at my. Do you have Wine Wednesday up? Like,
Yeah.
all right. When I pull my screen down here, like this, right?
It might not be like perfectly live.
All right, and I move like this. You're talking about this back screen right here? This is what we're talking
not
about?
there. It's not perfectly live. Oh wait, I can see now.
There you go.
Let me full screen it. Yeah, that needs to be like black.
You're talking about that being black. Interesting. It's always been gray for me as the default background.
That's not fair because it's not, and that's maybe why I trade poorly up here. It's because it's all light. It's too light. Like the level twos are black or are darker. I know someone out there knows. If William Gregory's out there, I know you know.
I know your secrets.
I know you know that I know that you know.
One thing we could do, and I don't know if you like this because this will screw up your default or your desktop. I can save my files and then send them to you, and then you can open it up, and my DAS will then look like your DAS, and you'll have all of my settings though. So it will remove all of your settings and give you mine, but you will get the gray background.
I should do that in the future for up here.
Okay.
I hate the settings up here. I don't have orders. It's all market orders that don't work, and then it doesn't switch the routes right.
Yeah.
It's horrible. Where's laptop when you need him?
He would know. He's a good answer. Or he's got a good answer, I can tell.
All right, everybody. How are you doing out there? I hope you're having a fantastic evening. It's just the three of us tonight.
I did give Rotani the link. He didn't say whether he would show up or not, but I just gave it to him again. Said if you want to show up how he usually shows up, he can, but we'll see. No guarantees. Anyways, what are we drinking tonight? What are we doing? What are we
I got hibiscus tea with honey.
Nice.
Okay, I think I might be up at 4 a.m.
I have a couple things. I have a beer to start it off, but you can't see it.
Wow, look at that.
Because you're so deep in the
Put
grass.
it in front of your chest. There we go. Yeah,
I have a Topo Chico for when it's done. And then I have another Topo Chico in case that one gets finished.
Do you like those?
Finished. I have a Topo Chico.
Do you like those?
No, it's the first beer I opened expired May 21st, so I had to put that away. And this is what's left. It's not my house.
Oh, see, there's a YouTube video on it, but if I mess it up, I might mess my settings up. It's called DOS Trader Dark Theme. How are you there?
Yeah, where'd Kyle go?
Oh, okay. So it's his voice. I don't hear him. What do you think he's having?
Uh-oh,
a private DM coming in. Someone's going to show me the DOS.
Oh, there we go. Are you asking what I'm having for wine?
White wine.
We have maybe I bought the wrong kind because it's not as good as I remember, but we have Josh. We brought Josh back.
Brought Josh back.
Yeah. And I remember it being better, to be honest. Maybe I knew there's a couple different Joshes, so I'm thinking I got the wrong.
Did you just open that one?
What's up?
Did you just open that one?
Yeah, brand new. Let's bring it in. Focus. You could do this. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, California, Sauvignon Blanc. Not my most favorite of red wines. Or white wines. It's kind of like, it's a little bit. I don't know. It just doesn't sit well.
Okay.
Under setup,
Yeah.
other config.
Oh, I got it for you.
I'm looking. There's so many things you can do in here. I hate how
It's
hard this
insane
thing
how
is.
customizable DOS is. It's almost too much.
Aha, theme. You can go dark or blue.
Kyle,
Oh, my eyes feel so much better. Oh, I'm a new man. I gotta save. Thank you, Kia, the Detroit
Okay,
man.
coming in
Kyle,
clutch. Oh, what's up, buddy?
were you short Rev D for the offering?
I was not. No,
You covered before that?
no, that was. I saw that thing and I was like, gosh, dang it. They would.
Gosh, Chili Winkers.
They would offer. They would
They
do
would.
that. So no, I was not. Unfortunately, that was a good one. But we are long, or not long. Well, we are long, but we're trading something better now. We're over our EVB.
We're way past the early
We're
person
on
day.
to curing diseases and saving the world,
Oh,
specifically monkeypox, which is why
Okay.
we're long.
which
Everything.
Dom is a professional monkeypox analysis, and you said it's not chickenpox?
It's not. Just go to the CDC website, man. Like,
I'm
it's
not
small.
gonna do that.
It's a family of small pox, not chicken pox.
But I feel like all pox are pox.
You can say that, and maybe others will believe it, but I don't think it's true.
Okay.
All pox are pox.
You know, pox family. I feel like they wouldn't make it that confusing if it wasn't.
I just kind of feel like there's no way these work, just because I missed the first move on Friday. And usually, when you miss a move, then you're there for the move. It doesn't happen. But the thing is, Kyle's here, and he was there the first time, so it's kind of like reverse psychiatry.
Right?
You know?
This is. There is a world where I see these coming in tomorrow morning, and it ends up in big disappointment. Let's put it that way. Right?
I feel like that at 4 a.m. I'm
see
going
a
to wake up like
scenario-
Christmas,
Right.
and
I
it's
can
going to
see
be
a
all the
scenario
up down.
where we're all a little bit ahead of the game, and we're just early. However, I can't not take them overnight because if this news spreads, so reason why I took it overnight on Friday was because one, the World Health Organization announced on Tuesday or Wednesday that it was
Early in the week. Yeah.
early in the week, and no one cared. No one. Like, GovX went up a little bit, but not enough to really get people's attention. Finally, it wasn't until Friday that it got this insane volume, and then sympathy started coming on, that of APDN and VRAX. And I thought, okay, now people care. This is when I want along. And then naturally over the weekend, the news continues to spread. Talk, word of mouth continues. And then we met with some huge gap ups. Right, I can see tomorrow being a disappointment because that first time is always the best, right? However, the World Health Organization said that and that caught fire or caught the news because it was only in Africa. And now there's a headline right into the close that we got our first case in America. Again, maybe it won't spread like it did. Maybe people won't care enough, and if not enough people care, then there won't be follow through. So naturally, we'll be disappointed. But it's one of those trades where I will have to take no matter what, because in the event it does catch on, in the event it does what I think any natural reaction should do when you hear a disease. Everyone having PTSD from COVID, and now there's this fairly recent one now making its way into America. Like, I can't not take these overnight again. Because there's another world where these gap up another 50% from here. You know,
Do 80.
80, 100, who knows? I mean, gosh, when APDN was up like 200% pre-market, it was lower by the open, but it went up 200% pre-market, came down to 100%, and then ran another 100% back to pre-market highs that day. So
Its highs were in regular hours, weren't they?
Right now,
Yeah, it went to 240 and at 5 a.m. and then it went higher, 280.
true, it did. Yeah, it actually did go higher. Yeah, and now we're right there again, 240. So I don't know. Maybe the previous resistance is too much. We won't be able to go through it. But there's just no scenario where I don't take these overnight, and I certainly don't short them. I'm either no position or I'm long them. Like, whoever short them, I would be.
This is where you
scared
start your
shitless.
box.
Sure, or you just get that lot. Anyway, so we'll see. Because last thing I'll say, even if tomorrow is a big disappointment and it doesn't spread or doesn't like catch on as like I thought, it will eventually catch on much later, kind of like the Who news earlier in the week, and then I will be like, gosh dang it, that's the gap up I want, or that's the run I wanted. So we'll see.
Yeah, all I really want is pre-market gaps into or and around the breakout levels, and I'd be pretty happy. Like, $3 in APDM would be huge. That would be 50% from 2.
Yeah.
10 to 12 on VRAX and GovX, which I don't think is crazy, would be awesome. And that would be, a nice win. Like, it's just kind of tricky. Someone even mentioned it, like they're basically just first green days, which is what they are. And that's why it's less of like a technical pattern. On Friday, you could have argued, we talked about this in the webinar with Huddie, that they could have, a lot of them were breakouts. In this case, you kind of are fighting into that resistance. So if it doesn't work, it probably is just a letdown and they just open where they are now or slightly lower. And, it doesn't mean they're dead by any means. Like everything Kyle just said, they could set back up for breakouts. But on the occasion that there is crazy news overnight or in the morning, or that they're short stuck in this that are swinging for multiple days, and now it's up near breakout levels, and they're trying to decide if they're going to risk the breakout level or not. Maybe some 4 a.m. prints up there in the double digits will help us out.
Right. I mean, certainly was like that in pre-market last time for at least APDN. So it was a big. But yeah, we'll see. Anyways, look at the chat. Let's see what everyone's talking about. Let's see. Eric's in the chat. What's going on, Eric?
Eric NC.
Furani, are any of you guys looking or long overnight? Oh yeah, I think we just answered that question. However, Franny, you say would you long these overnight despite it being a first green day bounce? Depends on how you play first green day bounces, but if I ever like a first green day, it's usually overnight, right? Like a lot of people, and I know Dom likes it this way, will like to catch the morning spike. I'm kind of the trader who will happily miss the morning spike and then actually look to long them overnight. Now, granted, this is like a 1 in 50 times a trade. It's not like every first green day I'm trying to long overnight because, yes, a lot of first green days do fail. That's why traders take that morning spike and then run for the hills because many of them might not close strongly. But specifically in the OTC market, which, again, I know is not necessarily around anymore, unfortunately, but that's where I got it from, which was I'd actually wait for them to prove they're having a first green day, close sideways or strongly to the highs, almost like another OT swizzle down. I'm not sure you played many of these as well. And then I actually buy into the close and take them overnight because it would save me a day trade. And I've still stayed molded in that fashion in many ways. I mean, literally, we just talked about Friday, me taking them long overnight Friday. That's like it's the same framework of like, there's news, they've held up their highs, they're going sideways, or at least somewhat near their highs during late day. I take them over the weekend. So I wouldn't say, the only reason I say that is like, I wouldn't, think that because they're first green days that they aren't good overnights. Many times, if I do take them, it's because they both are actually, congruent together.
Did you just say that the OTCs used to be?
Yeah.
Yeah, that used to be one of the core patterns was I wouldn't play the morning move on them, and I would play the afternoon if they were holding up. And that's one of the small adaptations we make over the years. That unlisted stocks, it just felt easier. And if that's all you did on GovX, you probably had a great day. Or any of these, they had great morning momentum that continued in the afternoon, and they've just kind of been holding up really well.
I agree. Anyways.
Someone said, wait, what happened to Jake and that other dude? Who's Jake?
Who's Jake?
Do we know Jake? Jake Paul. Oh, Jake Paul was on earlier this morning.
Doing what?
On the Good Morning Nasdaq.
He was?
With me and Huddie, yeah.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't.
My thoughts?
Yeah, let's hear your thoughts there, Huddie.
I think I bought the worst one.
Oh, now you in
See?
front of a live audience.
See? What did I tell you?
It was the only one that was left for me. I had to buy one.
Had to feel involved.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's the same thing, right? Like, are there new spreads overnight? I mean, I feel like we were warning about this on Good Morning Nasdaq or our webinars where I kept saying, like, if you're swinging this, like at any moment, news could come out of the virus spreading and like that swing short is invalidated immediately. So, doesn't surprise me that this happened. I expect more cases over the week. I mean, you have cases in Singapore, you have cases in Italy. I think I read that earlier in the week. So it is becoming more global. And one case in the US like is bound to, be 10 by the end of the week or whatever the number is. Um, like how deadly or infectious this disease is, I don't really know. I don't really think this is COVID round 2, but we have seen stocks like in the presence of, macro crises like COVID, like SARS, like Ebola, has created movement in the markets. So that's a good catalyst in terms of making, the monkeypox stocks move. And, if you're lucky overnight on the day that the catalyst comes out and all gaps up, you make money. I think if you overstay your welcome, like some of these are really bad companies, right? Like that was the whole thing with COVID back in the day was you had so many companies that were either doing COVID testing or COVID treatment or finding the cure. The PRs were crazy, and every day there was a new company that could possibly be that company. So most of them didn't end up being that company. Like Moderna was like the only one. It was a $20 stock at the time, and the rest of them, Novavax kind of went crazy, but then it came all the way back down. So a lot of these are scams, right? You have to go into that knowing that these companies are going to do financings. They don't actually have the cure. They're not real monkeypox companies. Most of them, right? I can't say for sure because I don't really do the fundamental research. This is just from my personal experience. So if you can nail the day that they're volatile, that's fantastic. Whether first red days, first green days, breakouts, just be there for it.
I have to agree. Alrighty. Let's lead their.
Did you guys know that? Did you see GovX's news 10 hours ago?
What was it?
That their registration's now open for their webinar called "Now is not the time to monkeypox around."
Oh God. Fantastic.
How long do you think their PR team worked on that?
7 seconds.
Stop. Wait, let's see when that is. That probably could affect this. What time is there? 11 a.m. on Friday.
It's even better. Into Thursday tomorrow. That's great.
You need to spread some more. So they're into it. So 10 hours ago, which means they had the big run. They dilute a little bit at the market, right?
Yep.
And then they're posting fluff PRs today, which means maybe they want this higher. Maybe it's more likely that instead of the O word, we get fluff.
I think you get love, then the O word.
Love, then the O word?
Yeah, I mean, that's what happened last time. Love first, O word. Now love, then O word.
Take some love.
Take some love.
I'm rooting for them. I want to short all these things again. I think I need another opportunity because I feel like the first short setup was really
They
tough.
sucked.
Yeah.
The first green days were great, and I botched them.
Yeah, we've heard about that all day.
Well, they didn't. You were in private with me. It was really depressing.
Oh.
All right. Is there any other questions besides monkey pack stickers?
Let's see. I lost my train of thought. Or my place in the chat.
Someone asked about CING. Says they feel this can really run. I just looked at it. I mean, what happened?
Feelings will get you hurt in the market.
What happened? Is it just like there was no news or anything, right? Like that sell-off today just was random?
You guys are just buying a stock that's up like 5,000 million%.
Just stops going off? Well, I'm just saying it looked like news or something. If you look at the intraday.
It does look like a little.
Yeah, something happened.
But I didn't see anything when I looked at dilution tracker.
Into the close? No. Yes? No, it's not in the close. I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm looking for on this chart, right? Like it's barely trading any volume. You're middle of the range between 21 and 2. And it's like, I don't know, I feel like it's like a half court shot from basketball, right? Like whether long or short, like I don't know which way it's gonna go. It's gotta do so much more to even prove it to me. And like asking for a stock to go from 2 to 20 and then re-break out again, I mean, I feel like that's asking a lot. It happens a few times a year. The last one I remember is HOLO, like a Chinese scam. So I don't know if Sing has it in it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it has in it yet either. But I do like it. I'm gonna keep my eye on it as long as it's above 10, 11, 12. Because there is so much range there. And if it does pop into play, maybe it's a bounce short. If it does pop into play and it's a breakout. But I'm not going to forget about it. But
in my experience, like these things go up quick and they come down quick. Like this is not a real thing. This is it's like a stupid low float that got up here, and yeah, it could break out. I think Dom, with his style, it makes a lot of sense to watch it, but like I imagine this like in the 7s and 6s by next week or something.
So yeah, we'll know. I think we'll know by the end of this week on the prognostication for Sing.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is the case for who asked here. Whoever asked. Sorry, I don't see your name on the chat here real quick. For Javier. Absolutely not, dude. Oh my gosh. This guy's climbing on the keyboard, thinks he's hot shit.
Tell him the market's closed.
All right.
Javier.
This is yeah, not you, Javier. My lead analyst who doesn't know how to, or my portfolio manager who doesn't know how to portfolio manage when the stock market's closed. This question around Sing reminds me of this mistake a lot of beginning traders make, or just traders in general, doesn't have to be beginning, where they will see something run really, really hot one time. And yes, things that run hot once can do it again. Clearly, we're talking about Monkey Box that just ran Friday into Monday, and now we're here on Wednesday. But you need a reason why, right? People get too attached to the fact that, yes, Sing was one of the bigger runners last week, going from $2 to $20. But now it's doing, there's like I agree with everything Huddie said. There's really nothing. The volume's, it just kind of, it's fading. There's nothing telling me why this is still in play. And then, but people just remember what it once was. And so they're like playing it, trying to hope that it's like something that could be. You need something to prove to you why you're long again, right? And these monkeypox stickers are no different, right? I am only long them because we had a massive catalyst that there's now monkeypox in the States. If that didn't happen, I wouldn't touch any of these. There would be zero reason why I'm touching any of these. So, something to think about, Anyway.
Yeah. Catalyst, I think, makes a big difference. I mean, yeah, spot on points right there, right? Like, I think, again, like I said, I'm late to the party. Like, I definitely bought after I fully read the catalyst and said, oh, okay, there can be legs here, right? Whereas, like, Sing, you just don't you don't even know what the catalyst is.
Right.
Like, what even got it moving in the first place? It's a low float that caught fire and, like, squeezed for 2 days. Yeah. Like, this is going to be a ticker you forget about weeks later, and I hope it's not a huge loss.
Yeah. And it's something that it makes me think of, like, a perfect example of this is like everyone with any hot runner, GME, AMC, FFIE, that's like that. Gosh, dude, what is your problem? Someone wants attention today.
So these cats are really getting in the way of our streams.
Easy right now. Anyway, it reminds me of like the crowd mentality where everyone gets so addicted to one particular ticker, whether it's a story, whether they were up a ton, now they're down a ton, so they just believe in like the company when it's like, that's not even believing in the company, they're believing in their own greed for the company, right? It's like there's this horde mentality. Like, again, me and Dom went over the Reddit posts like, what, a week ago, Dom? About FFIE.
Yeah,
there are people who are still long FFIE and are down 99%, but refuse to sell and actually will consider buying more because they are thinking about what once was. They're thinking about the ticker that went from 4 cents to $4, and they just seem, for whatever reason, they will catch it again. But it's not, the odds of it happening again for that company are slim to none, right? They get caught up in the idea, dude. Anyway, that's all I gotta say. Don't get caught up for what it once was. Make sure you're trading for what is currently in front of you. So.
Eric asked about Fifi. He says it's setting up. I don't know what for. I know Kyle probably believes that. I see it had a strong Green Day. Someone said today, also said roll and reverse split setup.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? Is that what that is?
If I'm familiar with roll and setup, it's that, something will reverse split. It'll fade. Something will reverse split because they need to stay above $1, which is FFI's case. They will reverse split. The reverse split goes over $1. It could be $2, $3, $4, $5, $10. It will then fade close to $1, and then at some point there'll be a spike, maybe a PR to have the
new highs.
Company.
GovX.
Nice.
Sorry.
Boy.
And so I don't know. FFIE is having its first Green Day since the reverse split. It didn't necessarily get close to $1. It's the low of today is 260s. I did try shorting this morning, try to like squeeze some more profits out of it, but unfortunately it did recover and come back. It's holding up decently.
It was just that type of morning.
Yeah, it was that type of morning for those who are watching a Good Morning Nasdaq this morning. But I don't know. The company could PR. Whatever the point is, they have tons of dilution to sell. They have tons of cash that they need to pay off their debts and their rent. Yes, they literally almost didn't make rent the last time. I think the CEO made a YouTube video saying we won't be able to pay our rent. So whatever they do, that's fine. But, you know, I wouldn't necessarily, strong Green Day for sure, but only 10 million shares in volume. In terms of dollar volume, it's nothing impressive. You know, I think they would naturally want to do a PR or get some kind of bigger move going, but maybe they don't. So only time will tell. We'll see.
Do you believe?
But it's 960s or almost 60.
Shh.
For...
You see do you hear that alert while you were talking? So that's what the dark mode does. It tells you when the stocks are in break high day.
Nice. Amazing.
Can you wait a second? I had a question.
Okay, go for it.
If you just chill for 2 seconds. Someone mentioned like Cosm today. They jumped on the bandwagon, but they're a crappy company. That's I think what Huddie was saying earlier. Fu Randy says, how do you guys buy your sector plays, especially if there isn't an intraday pattern? Do you just wait for a dip, buy, and hope it gaps up? Is that what you do, Kyle?
That's certainly what I did into the close. Yeah. I mean, I even if these do gap up huge, I'm not going to make a ton or as much as I maybe would hope to have made. Simply because, yeah, I mean, I chase the crap out of them. I'm long like 215 APDN. I'm long 830 GOVX. I'm long 640 ARP or VRAX, like my averages. So into the close, I mean, I'm buying these things already up 10, 15, 20%. And I'm risking, you know, the recent low, which is 10, 20, 15% below my entry. The only reason why I bought those that way is because, yeah, I didn't, all I knew was the headline. All I knew is that if the headline spreads, these will be higher. And yeah, I could have maybe been a little more patient, trying to waiting for some kind of dip. But the reality is most of them didn't really offer anything substantial. Maybe APDN back to like sub 2, I could have waited for that. But,
well, this one too, there was also the confluence of strong closes through the highs with the new news, they were both halted. So they opened in after hours, and you got to be able to feel about how strong they were going to be. And so it was almost like a new market, like a new day started at 4 p.m. of like new prices. So yeah, I mean, that's not generally how I buy them. I like to usually get them in the afternoon. I did buy VRAX and GovX into the close before those spikes. It was just kind of lucky with the catalyst. And I sold all of GovX into the 8 area, and I still have my VRAX starter. So I'm treating that more like I would a breakout where I have a cushion and I'm in that one from like the 5s, and I'm just slowly adding throughout after hours. But yeah, I struggle with that part. I don't really have a good system for it. That's why you see, you know, Kyle nail the ones on Friday and I'm nowhere to be found, because it is tough for me to chase these. You know, these ones, you know, besides VRAX, which again, I'm in from much lower, you know, we're up 50% on APDN and 60% on GovX. So it's not like we're on intraday level, like up 300%. We're buying those ones like a serve on day one.
Right.
But you do just kind of got to get in. If you're going to swing stuff, you know, Don Juan does a lot of it in the room, William Gregory, Kellogg. You kind of just, you got to be a little bit uncomfortable with these because they are volatile. You are buying it when they're less liquid. And you got to have a good feel for what's actually going to be higher the next morning.
Yeah. And that's why I like sector momentum so much, that it's like, you don't want to be reckless with your trading. It doesn't mean you just buy anything and close your eyes, but there is a huge room for error, because if the sector's really that good, they have a level of strength to them that like, it doesn't matter that I chased right now, right? Yes, it might hurt me tomorrow. We'll see, but I'm taking the overnight because I have a bit of, you know, at least enough confidence to be like, this sector and this, at least, you know, news is hot enough to like, yeah, I'm going to chase them because I think they're generally going to be much higher. You know, maybe tomorrow, if not tomorrow, then a week from now, right? Then you know, you don't just get one case in America and then no more. Like, it's not like, oh, we caught the guy coming through the airport. He had his one case. We've contained him. Like, no, if he's in America, like, other people have it. Unfortunately, I hate to say that, but like, this is not going anywhere.
If you turn on CNN tomorrow, absolutely the tickers on the bottom are going to be rattling off, or like GovX, you know, and all these like monkeypox stickers, and it's going to say like one case identified in you know, the US. What's this mean? And it'll be all over the news. So that's kind of what we're we're banking on, right? I think it's bankable when you can predict news headlines and get in at a good price, right? Not where the stock is, but where it's going.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I'm in charge of them.
Yeah, sorry. Lead the way. I don't mix you up there.
Austin says RR, so Railroad breakout watch tomorrow after holding better than expected today.
Railroad. It's not, for the reference, everyone. It's not called the name
Railroad.
company is not Railroad. It's something robotics.
So Railroad, what do you? Is it on breakout watch? I don't think it is.
I don't think I ever want to trade it again. To be honest.
I only allowed myself to trade it because I thought it was a first red day, like it was a solid bounce, and I was disregarding the rest of the chart behind it because it was so bad. But that should play to its benefit in terms of the short. So from a buy perspective, I really just don't like what's going on to my left.
Yeah, I think it's a scam. I mean, I think it's a scam.
Because you lost on the short?
No, I made $400.
Hey.
Yeah. I had wide risk and then I covered near close. And by the skin of my teeth, I got it at 126.
What a stock.
It's honestly, my issue with it is it's just like rather illiquid. And I guess there's 29 million shares there that you see, but like that, it's not a constant flow of volume. It's really just like random orders that kind of go off, and it's heavy on the bid and it's heavy on the ask. And it's just not, I don't feel like retail is there. I don't know what is there, but whatever is there, I don't want to be anywhere near that thing because it's just not liquid, right? It's not, I mean, I'd much rather focus on GovX and all these monkeypox stickers for the remainder of the week than like stare at RR and see like a 200K bid that means nothing because it gets wiped out and then it repops.
Yeah, a little weird.
I feel that. I
like the $1 stocks that trade like 70 to 100 million shares a day, right? Like 20 million does not impress me these days like it once did.
Gauging momentum on these tickers and how long it will last. So difficult. Just trade the patterns in front of you. And right now we're at the, if you remember COVID times, it feels very early stage, right? And doesn't mean this is going to be something that actually matters globally, like, or nationally or stock marketly, for very long. But this feels like the last big piece of news. Like if they don't gap on this, then it will just be based off of running hype and chart patterns in the future.
I don't think it matters. That like the answer to the question doesn't matter. That's not what we're trying to do here in the market. I think you're just trying to find, like, you have to kind of tell yourself what's a layup, what's a three-pointer, what's a half-court shot. And you're just trying to take like easy base hits. Like, like big news article comes out. Okay, we're buying, momentum, so to speak. And then, like I'm sure Kyle and Dom are waking up at 4 a.m. and potentially selling. It's not that they think it can't continue. It's just, where's the easy money? Where's the predictable money? Like if you overstay your welcome on any of these, like we're talking about, like it doesn't even matter if it keeps spreading or not, because these companies are horrible. And if you overstay your welcome, then it can be a problem. So just looking for easy single base hits. And sometimes an easy single base hit is a 50% winner. But it's like not saying, okay, if it gapped up 50%, then this is just the beginning. And, this is going to last another 3 months. And I'm just going to hold my position until we reach, the promised land. That's not really the goal in the stock market most times. At least not for us.
Yeah. I'm not trying to time the top of these, right? I am going in with a plan of, I think all three of these could gap up over their first day highs. And if they do that, I'm selling. Like there's no reason for me to stay. And maybe they all go up 100% higher than that, but I don't care, right? I took the first part of the only part of my plan that I wanted to take, and I took it, and then I'm going to run,
Yeah.
There's just no reason over. And that's what makes us a trader, right? You don't, like, I don't love the having too in-depth of a thesis to where it's like I'm trying to time something perfectly. Because, someone might have longed them, let's say on Thursday or Friday like I did, and say, yeah, I'm going to sell when the entire world's infected, like something crazy. And so, of course, naturally, come Monday, they're already up tons of money. But do they sell? No, because they're like, this is going to get bigger. And then they have to ride through GovX doing an offering, having GovX go from 11 down to 5. And now it's back at 9. Like, how much volatility do you really want to deal with? Like, the volatility should be your friend. You should be going in and out freely. and trading it versus like feeling like you need to be attached to this momentum until it ends, because the problem is you're never going to really know. Like that's the point. So having a plan irrelevant of the sector is like what's most important, because if you follow that and you make money on that, like just do that every single time you have a hot sector. Yeah, maybe adjust, get better over time, but you know, you're not gonna take these things up 10,000% because every state is now doing a COVID all over again and there's lockdowns, and it's just not a game you want to play, in my opinion.
God, I would not be able to believe there's a world where we do lockdowns again.
That's not going to.
Yeah.
That's a chicken.
It'd be tough to do, even if it was.
It's not chicken pox.
It's chicken pox. It's almost one of those things. I can see the thing where, like, if let's say hypothetically, very low odds, but let's say hypothetically that plays out. I would imagine most people say yeah, whatever, because they just don't even like they're still not over COVID. So they're like, oh, lockdowns, yeah, right. Even if say monkeypox was hypothetically more deadly, I don't know. I'm too ignorant on how deadly or non-deadly monkeypox is. But I can see like the natural inclination from a lot of people, but like, yeah, whatever.
I think a lot of people were dying in Africa. I mean, like, I think it's like, I don't know. I don't even want to say a number because I could have just be confusing an article, but that's the thing. Like, I don't know if they have like adequate treatments in Africa like they do. Like, there is a vaccine. There is treatment for monkeypox. It's not like the same as
right.
COVID, but I don't know how much they have, right? Like, I don't know if they can supply the world with treatment or vaccines, but I know the company like BVNRY is the OTC company that makes the Genesacoa vaccine. It's a weird OTC stock that trades zero volume. Sega has TPOX, which is like a treatment for it.
Who is gonna voluntarily take a vaccine for monkeypox?
Well, someone who has it.
Would that do anything if you already have it?
I don't know. They'll take it. They'll probably take it anyway at that point.
I mean, like you said, it's a form of smallpox, so eventually, like, there will be mandates if it's a problem.
I thought it was chickenpox.
They're all pox. All the same family of pox.
That's all the research I did. It's the pox family.
It's chickenpox with a twist. It kills you.
If you were actually a good trader out there, you'd be out there looking for chickenpox stocks. All right, let's go to the next one. Someone said Cosm new highs as well. I just looked at that. That's kind of interesting.
You know what? I just realized I did not buy the worst one.
You think that's the worst one?
I think that's the worst one. That one feels so late.
Yeah,
I mean, it still
didn't really. I mean, it barely ran Monday. I almost don't even consider it with it. I mean, maybe it will be.
Yeah.
It'll be the new runner, but yeah.
I think that's just a money hunting scheme over there, and I don't know how far they'll get it without having real like that. Like I said, like during COVID, like it could go. All these companies are going to start PRing, and it's going to be a hot theme probably for a week. But I like that. That looks horrible to me. But I'm not always right.
Matthew says VRAX is going to take the baton, in my opinion.
It did there for the first 30 minutes of after hours. It definitely
play
the way.
We could place side bets on who we think takes the baton. I'm a little biased.
We'd all have to get. I'd say we flip a coin, or we do like a pull a straw thing. We all get one, and we have a side bet for whichever one gaps up the biggest percent.
I don't like that.
Oh.
I like which one goes the furthest from today's low into the end of the month.
No thanks.
That's a.
I think I'd win.
You have me till tomorrow.
Yeah.
Let's play a game. Who can hold on to their monkeypox stocks the longest?
Oh God.
I don't mind swinging mine.
You are swinging it
for like a week.
I think VRAX is going to get up the most tomorrow.
If you if you could do this, like let's say you didn't want to deal with the volatility, you have to sell right now, Kyle, or I knock you out, put a stop loss in 15% below all your entries, and you have to hodl for a week, and I'll wake you back up in a week. Which one would you do?
Oh, one of the three?
No.
Or
this situation, you have to sell them all
I have
right
to hold
now,
them all,
or I knock you out and I wake you up on Monday.
For a week.
Yeah, but you don't have to see the action. You're just going to wake up and P&L is going to be what it is.
A week as in...
We'll give it to Monday.
No, we'll give it till Friday.
Next Friday.
Next Friday? That's a week and a half.
Who knows?
No.
It could be pulling back on its first red day, and the low could be 49.
If you said till Monday, yes. If
Yes.
you said till Wednesday or after, no. I would sell now.
Wow.
I thought the question was which stock would you think would hold up?
No,
Yeah, that's what I thought too. And then he said
wasn't.
no, all of them.
Just your positions you have right now. You
Yeah,
want
yeah.
if I force you to hold them longer, or
No,
I think there is a way to play it. I think Jack and Gratani were trying to do that with Indo, right? They were in from day one. They hodled through the first move. They hodled through the breakout, and it doesn't work out. But that's kind of
Okay. How'd that go for them? Well, in their defense,
it's one of those things though that pays off big.
yeah. And
I think they made a lot of money.
in their defense, they didn't get what they needed, which was more conflict in the Middle East, which is something, again, morally not really the great to be rooting for, but technically
It's honestly,
for trade,
it was such a bad bet because it's like, what are you betting on? You're betting on World War III. Like you're betting on like literally the worst case scenario for geopolitical, right, Tom?
multicultural.
Multicultural politics. You're betting on the worst case. You're betting on World War III. Like Iran goes to war with Israel. That's horrible. Like we got bigger fish to fry at that moment.
Yeah.
And
After
I
you
don't
get your
think anyone
money out of
wants
your
that.
E-Trade account.
No one wants that. Like not Iran, not Israel. No one wants that war to erupt.
I know two people that did.
Jack
Matthew
and
says
Gratani.
Huddy is using a Bug's Life theme background, and now he's gone.
I just don't want you guys to see how much I'm drinking.
Makes sense. Before you do that, though, it's best if you make it look like your camera's not working. Go like this. What's going on? And then black it out, and then you got to make it believable. Come on. 123 drummer says overall volume is just light on GovX, APD, and VRAX today.
Light. That's
Kind
all
of, it's light, but it's weirdly not light, but it is thin. But there's a bid.
Focus on the
I think there's shorts as well. And what was the volume on Governmental X today?
I would argue that's what you want. Like, I like that this doesn't have
It was
big a
able to
volume.
cut through all that resistance without
Right.
any.
It was able to go through all of this so far with a fraction of the day one volume. And you have to think about blow off volume, and not just blow off volume on any given hour or day or week, but just like how much volume could one ticker possibly trade till it's exhausted everyone and itself out to where it just can't go higher, right? Like if
number
these
on
were
GovX, 100.
what's up?
What's that number on GovX? 100 mil? Because that's what it did before.
I think so. 9 mil. If GovX traded like 200 mil and wasn't even above $8, I'd be very concerned. I'd be like, why is this so much heavier than the first time it was up? You could almost argue it doesn't even matter about today. It had 109 million shares it traded on Friday, and by Monday it had 40%. It went from 109 to 40 million volume, and it gapped up to 11. So I know what you mean. Like sometimes, like when it comes to like really good breakouts, you want high volume, but in these particular instances or the scenarios, like you don't need higher volume for these to go higher. If anyways, again, we've talked about it a lot, and I know Nate's talked about a lot with like liquidity traps. Like sometimes there's just too many shorts in it and then not enough sellers. And so there's less volume, but these stocks are squeezing so much higher because there's just no one to sell to.
That's what I saw a lot of today on VREX, on GovX. You've seen it for 2 days on APDN, where it kind of has these, especially now with SSR on all of them. They kind of like very illiquidly pull back, and then it's just like two prints, and they're right back to where they were, and then they get bought right back up, and all the swipes, and then it's just weak. Like there wasn't a lot of perfect action on GovX today, but the trend was there. Every time it looked like it was going to roll over. Like you look at the move into VWAP at 245. And it's just like, you think it's dead, it's done for the day, right? Nope, it just on no volume, just bounces right back up, sets a higher low, curls into the close. Like, to me, that's more of telling of what Kyle was just talking about, that maybe there's some swing shorts. I mean, you remember, this thing was at, 7 or 8, gap down to 5 on offering news. And that morning it only bounced from 5 to the 630 area. So I think they're probably swing shorts from yesterday or the day before. I think there's probably people shorted day one who got paid into the afternoon and just been swinging this down. And now all of a sudden it's back at 9 or 7 if you're VRAX. APDN is very squeezy looking. That slow trend all the way back. I mean, that breakout level is 280. APDN is a lot closer to its breakout level than the other ones are.
True.
And it happened like in an instant, like over the afternoon, all of a sudden it was just there. And I think that's scary for shorts because if you also see that there isn't that volume, maybe you convince yourself to hold like it's just, oh, it's other shorts causing this, not me. And I don't know. It could be a perfect storm that works, or it could absolutely be a dud at 4 a.m. and I'm like really angry.
You know what this month
it's either going to work or I'm going to be depressed.
Oh, go ahead, Eddie.
You know what this month reminds me of? It reminds me how amazing our job is. If you're thinking about August and what it's been, like I feel like this job, part of the reason that it's fun is you're always that kind of exercising that creativity part of your brain. But there's always like some kind of thing to catch on to. Like every day you're tasked with making money. You're creating money. You're not finding it. You're not like just picking off the ground. You're creating it through your actions, right? And like we started off August with the market being bloody red. Like what, 13% down from the highs? Like looked like August was absolutely hopeless. And even in that first week, we had great chart patterns in small cap. Like LUMN is probably one that stood out to me.
Serve
was probably beginning of August, right? Maybe that was end of July because I remember being on the boat. But
I'm on a boat.
The point is like that's how the month started, and then we get into like the middle of the month, and there was a ton of like for me and Kyle at least, there was a ton of gappers that were just like fading perfectly.
Market crash
after hours, like amazing things, and then in between all those gappers, you start to have these themes like monkeypox news, and you know that was the theme last week, and now there's another opportunity to make money on it again, and it's just. I think that's the part that I love about our job. Like it always keeps you kind of interested and fresh and entertaining to some extent.
Anything can come out of anywhere at any time. And I think beginners forget that. Like, I mean, look at what my day has gone from. I went from a horrible start to my day. Could have been the greatest day of the month. Missed all the first green days. Butchered them. Took too big of a loss on something that I didn't have a stop in on. And then by the grace of God, the last hour of the day, all of a sudden I'm in all these trades. And we're up a ton unrealized, and we're not even selling or thinking about selling. And all of a sudden I have the chance to go from being break even on the month to hitting my goal for the month overnight. Like this job can change on a dime. That's the fun about it. That's the depressing part about it when they don't work.
Fun and depressing.
There's really no middle ground with trading because you're never really as disciplined as we say you should be. Like, you know, when the market slows down, when the small caps aren't there, when we don't have the gappers, just pull back. Foot off the grass, don't trade. And no one does that. And so you're either happy because things are going good, you're angry because you're like forcing stuff, or like depressed because stuff's not working. And there really is no middle ground. Oh my gosh, just mix that dip. Are you clicking buy over there?
Don't worry about it.
Are you clicking buy over there?
All right. I added to them all.
Are you really adding APDN at 240?
Absolutely. I actually like that one more because it's like you said,
because of what I just said.
Right at the breakout level.
That can gap to 3, and our entries are right around 2. It's like money.
This 2-day look of APDN gives me massive PTSD when I was short FFIE in after hours, where yes, this is over a 3-day period versus just a 1-day period, but FFIE closed, like FFIE parabolic to like the high 2s. I think it was 280 like APDN, pulled back as low as 120, and then by after hours it was literally closing back above 2, and I said to myself, there's no way I take this overnight. This looks so scary. And APDN gives me the exact same look and feel. Like it is not too scary over high, so it gets shorts to stay in. But if I was short still, I'd be scared shitless. It is right there.
That's what I'm saying. My target on APDN is 3 because I really want to be conservative about this, right? Just like 280, 3, it's $1 a share profit on a $2 stock. Don't be greedy, Dominic. Don't be greedy. But I would not be surprised if they all do work if this isn't near 4. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, which would just be, why are we talking like that? Stop.
Kyle, I hope you added to the best one too.
I added to all of them.
Siga?
No. I don't own any Siga.
It's the worst.
So, are you adding to your Siga?
Oh
No.
my god.
The only reason
watch Siga gap to like 27.
The only reason
I'm annoyed because I can't get more of GovX.
I can't just chase these things. I don't see the risk. I don't see a world where I take more than like 1,000 shares on any of those. Whereas like Siga, I feel like in the low nines, you could take a lot.
Is this going to be another time I'm up a shiz ton unrealized and just don't do anything but click more buy?
Just give it all away.
I'm up by 12 to 1.
For disclaimer though, I did add, and yes, to Huddie's point, I only added like 1,000 to 2,000 shares each of them.
Yeah.
And I am moving my risk up to VRAX, moving my risk up to 6, GovX moving my risk up to 770, and APDN moving my risk up to like 210, 205.
If you really believed, you'd add a 0.
What's up?
What?
What'd you say?
That if you really believed, you'd add a 0.
The best way to add I have a ton of arrows on my after hours, and I just add 100 shares at a time, and eventually you get to 8 o'clock and you have a lot, and it doesn't feel like at any given moment like you're being aggressive.
You scale yourself in.
Yeah, because I had core positions of like on APDN of like 5 to 7,000, and then like 1 to 2K in GovX and VRAX, and then it's just like 100 here, 100 there. Yeah. And if it just immediately downticks, I don't get stressed. I'm not going to change. I'm not adding more GovX. That's going to be the one I feel like I'm going to be the most annoyed of because that's the smallest position.
All I know is I'm in a position to win.
Will you stop with your Siga talk?
Like, for this to stop me out, it would be really tough.
Why would you put that out there in the universe?
Huddie, I think you're taking the least riskiest and the least reward one.
Bro, I go for the low-hanging fruit. Do you know me?
That is true.
In the field?
Is that low-hanging fruit? I feel like APDN at $2 all of after hours was sitting there while everything else was spiking.
That's true. And it did that today too. VRAX and GOVX were already having their first green days, and APDN was like still red. It
was like 3 hours behind.
Yeah.
If I'm buying APDN, it's like way earlier in the morning when it's freaking obvious that the whole sector is having a first green day, and this one's chilling at the lows. Like that. Like I'm not buying it $1 a share higher. It's already moved 50% intraday. And like,
would you buy it at 240 if I told you it was going to 3? Like,
no.
That's crazy.
Well, because it's like, what if they gap down? Like, what am I risking?
Oh, well, then we just sell for small wins.
I don't know if you know what a gap down means.
Yeah, it would be below. Gap down? I mean, I'm thinking more from these levels.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I just don't know how to buy it up here. Without like,
I wouldn't buy it. I would never buy it up here.
Like if I'm gonna take it, I want like a $15,000 position bare minimum. You know, I don't want to take 1,000 shares of APDN. I want to take like 8,000, 9,000 shares, and I don't know how to do that from up here without like risking $3,000 or $4,000 on a gap down.
Yeah. Will you stop saying those words?
GD.
Yeah.
Oh.
GUs.
So I took the safe one, guys. I took the one that's like it's not gonna hurt me. Although it hurt a lot of people the other day.
I don't know why you keep saying that out loud.
It's not gonna hurt.
It's not gonna hurt my feelings. It's not gonna make me cry.
Wait.
Did you add to the other one?
No, I did not.
Okay. The back burner.
The secret back burner. Did you? No, not Siga.
No,
the
I can't wait. Did Huddie not even buy that one?
Dude, the other one's the Huddie pick.
You bought that
Siga?
One? No, I didn't buy any of them.
Oh my
You're
gosh.
funny,
I bought Siga, but I didn't buy. We're talking about the A word.
All right, back to questions. Jenica says, "Do you consider today as the first green day for monkeypox stocks?" I do. Yeah. And Jenica, if you weren't there this morning on live trading, you can go look in playlists on our YouTube channel right here. If you just go to our channel and then go to playlists and rewatch that. I traded one of them, missed one of them, but I think in pre-market I went over what I was looking for on them. But that is exactly what I look for. All right, let's find good questions.
Am I gonna buy the A word?
You could if you could.
You got 30 seconds.
30 seconds?
Oh, wait. I gotta look before we'll answer a couple questions right after the bell. We started a few minutes late.
I'm not gonna buy it.
Can we get the last minute, the last 30-second push, folks? The last 30-second push. The last 30-second push.
Here it comes again. Here it comes again.
You smell that?
I smell something.
I smell a gap.
Monkeypox. Oh.
Some monkeypox. Does it have a smell?
If it smells like whatever Kyle was sniffing, I'm
I
in.
smell the gapilations. All right,
Do
we're
we
done.
like
It's
that
closed.
there was no perks? Oh, it's kind of depressing. Now all there is left is to look at the unrealized frozen in time and pray that we get that.
More than that.
Um, Mash for fun says, are you guys able to trade these at 4 a.m.? One reason I won't chase is that damage can be done from 4 to 7 when I can't trade on E-Trade. That is very true. And something you do need to think about if you're swinging and stuff. Not something I ever really thought about. I don't think it was it didn't matter a lot until like a year or two ago. Like where you had a lot more 4 a.m. moves. I feel like COVID started that. And then all of a sudden 4 a.m. moves were like a big thing.
Not a big thing.
They're a thing.
I never do it.
They're a thing. You don't do anything.
That's true.
Yes, you do have to go in with, if you are buying it like an E-Trade or a TD Ameritrade, you can't trade till either 7 or 8 Eastern, which is a big risk, 100%. Which is why if you do go in with something, you need to be okay with it gapping down big. And if it doesn't, if it works out really well like it should, then, then you're going to be fine, right? It's going to be plenty.
It almost can be a benefit sometimes.
Yeah, it actually can. Because it's
Not the day that Indo gapped up.
What's up?
Not the day that Indo gapped up.
It didn't help me out there. It cost me like 20 grand.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
However, specifically for this reason, I did take these longs at a direct access broker where I can sell them come exactly at 4 a.m.
There's also a lot of swings where I don't expect there to be anything going on at 4 a.m. And there's stuff like these where I could see them, like they've already proven that last time they didn't gap to those levels. If you look at the intradays, they ran starting at 4 a.m. and like started there and ran straight up.
Yeah.
So it's just something we have precedent to look for. So it's something you think about. But there are a lot of swings I take where I'm like, I don't really expect there to be a lot going on.
Right.
I'm usually not waking up at 4 a.m. to sell swing.
I always am because I have fears.
Oh.
I'm usually not, but in this instance, I will at least look.
I feel so safe with mine.
Stop
we know.
saying that.
I don't.
We know how safe you feel with yours.
Watch mine be like a Chinese scam. Gaps on the
It
pool.
was down 50%.
Just fucking hurts me.
Someone says, hey guys, I had my best month ever in July. I'm now deep in the red in August. I'm falling back into some bad habits that were keeping me red. Do you have any advice to overcome this?
CloverTrading.io. Great
What's
place
happening
to
over at
cars and video lessons.
CloverTrade.io? Yeah, we talk a lot about that, especially me. A lot of my video lessons are about losing drawdowns, overcoming them. So far, I've been able to do it every time. But real advice, Kyle, go.
Where's this question again? Or just read it to me again.
Best month ever last month, deep in the red now, falling back into bad habits. Do you have any advice? Well, I think you know the answer. Reread your question.
You're going to want to look at that best month that you've ever had and find out whether it was just a one-off fluke and you got lucky, or you actually had some kind of consistency in that and that you fell off massively off the wagon. Because I find a lot of traders will have their new best month and it's literally just one trade and they think they knew what they're doing, but they actually just got lucky. And I know because I speak from experience, I had many solid wins early on that was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I'm finally getting it. And it's like, I was so ignorant with about what I didn't know that like, I just thought because I made money that I did something right. And I knew what I was doing. When the reality was I was just completely got lucky. Only to then find after hundreds of thousands of more hours in trades that like, oh, I had no idea what I was actually doing. Versus your new best month or biggest month ever being like 100 trades and it's 60 out of 100 you're winning in them and all of the wins are bigger than all of the losses. Like that's true consistency. Because I can't help but think like once you find true consistency, yes, you're gonna fall off it a bit and you have to get back on it with following the right rules. But like once you find it, it should be a positive spiral upwards, right? Like you should be motivated by the reward of actually making money to not break your rules, right? And I know we're human, it happens, but like it's I don't even know how to put this in words. It's hard for me to imagine myself having a killer period and yes, it can happen where you get overconfident and then you have to scale back. But like to go from saying having 3 months of consistency and then giving it all back in like say 2 weeks time, like then how much consistency do you really have? Because for me, it's too rewarding for me to be consistent that like I strive to do that so that the fact that
you like making money.
Yeah, it's like I want to make money. So the moment I'm not doing that anymore, like I put an end to it immediately. Like I've never, unfortunately, I hate if I'm sounding harsh. Like I can't relate to people who are like, oh, I've given my, my last 6 months away in 1 week. It's like, what are you doing? Like, what is going on here? Like,
You can't relate to that. You can only the last 2 months, right?
Well, it's like, and the only thing is like, is either A, and this is what I mean by over a week or so, because sometimes, yes, you have, again, we're human. Like I have had plenty of big losses where yes, a whole month, 2 months has been wiped out. But I'm talking about the extreme cases where you've had like a really good, at least in a beginner's eyes, a really good streak. And then it's not just one day, it's not just one trade, but it's like a week or two and you've given back months of work. Where it's like, it's not just one big mistake. Like, again, we're human. You can give yourself one mistake, things happen. But when you go on like this massive, like week-long bender, it's like, what's going on? Like it's almost like like Huddy said, like I want to make money, and when the moment I'm not making money anymore, like I want to stop. I don't want to feel that pain anymore. I want to go back to what I was doing, which was making money. So hopefully that makes sense. I don't know if I'm even getting my words across there, but
it makes sense to me, Kyle.
It makes sense to me too, and it's all. This is the issue with like kind of talking to people online because you really don't know who you're talking
on the line.
On the line,
on the interwebs.
My thing was always, as I was like growing up as a trader and trying to find consistency, was once I fell off the wagon, I would always do exactly what Kyle's saying. Like, what made me money? How do I get back on the wagon? Where do I find my familiarity and just stick to that and that pattern only? Right? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
And
loud and clear.
The problem with the online is like you could say that you had like a great July month, but was it great? Like just because you made money doesn't make it a great month.
Said it was their best month ever, so I feel like they've probably had other months that they can go off of.
It's got to be a very specific and intentional way to have your best month ever. And like if there's any kind of randomness or luck or like off the wagon type of trading and trading on the fly, and you just had like a hot moment where stocks were kind of going crazy and you were just in the right place at the right time, that's great. But like, how repeatable is it? And you have to really differentiate that, right? Like you can make money. There's a 50% chance that a stock goes up or down at any moment, at any time, and you can make money. But does that mean you should, just because you make money, is that something that you should like hang on the fridge and say, hey, like, mom, look what I did? The answer is like not always yes. So you really have to just kind of focus in on what your results were and where's familiarity. And my fear is, and my argument is, most traders who have their best months ever don't have familiarity. They have luck. And when that luck runs out and that situation is no longer there, and it might not be there for a long time, they start overtrading. They start going after everything that resembles what once worked. And it's like, so it has to be really specific and intentional. And you have to have a comfort place to trade from, like a familiarity, a pattern. And that's really the only way to be consistent, I think, at least in the beginning.
Yeah, I think about like, I have 2 biggest months ever, and they are like 3 times as big as the next biggest month. Like, and I look at those and I feel like there was just something different, like about those months. I was on fire, the market was on fire, and I sized up. Like, I didn't come out of that, I don't think, trading any different because of it and getting my head high. I don't know, but in the beginning, especially when I got profitable the first time, I was negative, and then eventually I made like a 3K month, a 5K month, a 9K month. Every month that I made a little bit more, I didn't just like go celebrate and go, this was a new best month. I still treated myself like a newbie, like a beginner, like I didn't know what I was doing, like I maybe was still getting lucky. And I, like everything Kyle said, I was just completely dialed with what I was doing. Is how can I be as consistent as possible? How can I still study every single night? How can I make sure I make my watches? How can I follow all my rules? How can I not lose more than 1 hour? Like, and there was never a period where I looked at my P&L until like I hit a 20K plus month and was like, okay, maybe I do have some of this figured out and I am like getting better. But I think if you're early on, it doesn't do you any justice to like really care. Best month ever, second best, whatever. Like, it's fun to hit new milestones, but care when you hit your first 100K, care when you hit 500K, like when you really proven yourself that you've done it. And then obviously all the easy stuff, go back to what you were doing before, focus on your patterns. August was very choppy in terms of it was hot for a period, slow for a period. The market was crashing for a period. We had hot sector, then we didn't. We had gappers, and we didn't. I think it was a great lesson of how to really quickly adapt to the changing markets and maybe be really transparent with yourself and be journaling every single day to realize the changing markets as they came and when I should have been attacking, when I should have been pulling back. And so that way for the next time, maybe it's next August, maybe it's next month where I can use that and go, okay, when a month is very different, it's very cyclical throughout the month, I need to be quicker in terms of navigating that. And that will help you stay more consistent.
One last thing I want to add on that I think ties in with what both you guys said, which is I love what Huddie said there, which is like just because you made money doesn't mean it was a good thing, right? You want to trade well and have a good process that's repeatable and over and over and over again, and the money will follow, right? But at the same token, what Dom just said, you but also need to adapt and change the in market environment. So what does that mean? Like the process stays the same, the setups stay the same. It's just how am I sizing differently? How am I managing risk? Maybe I'm taking less of that setup if they're less ideal. And the reason why I say that is because back to the whole point of like, you don't even know if you're consistent or not based on the market environment, because I know traders who traded all of 2020 and 2021, made money, and 2022 hit. And it's like they stopped trading completely. Like forget because I know obviously 2022 was a tougher year for everybody. I think everyone can agree on that. But there's different levels. And the people who had a process stuck around and survived. The people who didn't, and as what Warren Buffett says, like the tide goes out and you see who's swimming naked, like it shows.
Is that the Oracle of Omaha?
Yeah.
That's the Oracle.
So like it's one thing, it's like, almost to a point of keep your head up, because like if you thought 1 month of new highs was enough to mean something, right? To Dom's point, like it doesn't. Like it almost should never mean anything, because it just is a constantly changing and ever adapting game. And the only thing you control is your process, and the outcome comes after, right? So yeah. Anyways.
Very wonderful. I think that's a great place to end it tonight. I think we're all going to go to bed with a little bit of angst, a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of nervous energy. Big game tomorrow. Who knows what's going to happen? Except we have no control.
God.
And so that's really just exciting stuff. A lot of money on the line. Yeah, I hope you guys learned something. I hope you had a great time. I hope you... What else? We're entertained. I hope you hit the thumbs up button. I hope that you want to be a part of the 40 people we need to subscribe to get us to 5K. Who knows? There might be a giveaway. There might not be. We don't know. Yeah, we'll be live tomorrow to wrap up this. Actually, nope. Tomorrow's Thursday. We'll do live. Nope. So tomorrow's Thursday, everybody. And what we're going to do is what we always do, which is Good Morning NASDAQ at 8:45. I am more drunk when I'm sober than I am when I'm drunk. My goodness. So 8:45 a.m. we'll do another episode of Good Morning NASDAQ. We'll be here to be happy or be sad, really. There is no way to cut it. I think by then, by 8:45, I will be probably all out of these, no matter what. Unless there's slight gap ups, and I guess we just ride the wave and see if we end up naked or whatever you said.
Oh God.
Any last words from Huddie? I know he's deep in the weeds and maybe he has a little bit of knowledge and wisdom for everyone out there.
I don't.
Maybe he does, though.
Maybe he doesn't.
Come on, give us your favorite quote.
Yeah, I was about to say, give us a Marcus Aurelius quote.
I'm not the one that reads that book.
Oh, you haven't learned one from Don by now?
No, I don't.
All right.
Those are hard ones to
I
memorize.
got one. Be the best version of yourself you can be.
That's an easy one, and it's true. It really is true. When you wake up tomorrow, when you go to bed tonight, treat your loved ones with respect. Take your work seriously. And be the best version of yourself you possibly can be, all right? We'll see you guys tomorrow, 8:45 a.m. Maybe if it's a good morning, Kyle will join us because he'll definitely be up early. If he's not here, it's probably a sad morning. But we'll see you all then. Have a wonderful, fantastic, amazing, miraculous night.
Peace, everybody.